Off day, everyone, and welcome to D16 tonight. I'm Nestor DeCanto. We have three of your candidates running for senator live in studio to take your questions in what I would characterize as a digital town hall. All you have to do is go to your Facebook page and interact with us on our live stream. And for those of you who are already online, start firing away with your questions. We've got a queue going here, and so we'll try to pick some of the best ones and pose those to our senatorial candidates. Who let me introduce them to now. Right now, it's incumbent Senator Tony Atta, Republican, Senator Frank Aguon Jr., also a Democrat and also an incumbent, and former Chief of Police, Mr. Fred Bordallo, who is running as a Democrat. Yes, okay. And before we begin, I'd like to give you guys about 30 seconds to introduce yourselves. And once we get into the question and answer portion, because I'm sure we're going to have a bunch of questions, we'll ask that you try to keep it to about 30 seconds, your responses. Okay, let me start with you, Tony.
Hafade Nestor, Hafade people of Guam. I'm Tony Atta. I come from the village of Sinahanya. I have 4 children, Leilani, Vince, Amaya, and Alejandra. I've been married to my beautiful wife, Annette, for the past 31 years. And I am the son of Ben and Terry Atta, who are both deceased at this time. I'd like to thank you for tuning in and listening to the candidates as we come and speak to you about who we are, where we come from, and what we look forward to doing for the people of Guam.
Okay, Senator Rogan.
Buenas and Hafade Nestor, and I just want to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank KOM for the chance to be able to share our perspectives and our views with the audience in the community. I also want to extend my personal appreciation for the privilege to have served you over the course of the last 2 years. I can honestly say that in the last year and a half, that during the course of chairing the Public Safety Committee, I've had a tremendous opportunity to meet many of our men and women in uniform, and they do a fantastic job every single day. And I just want to extend kudos to them, because sometimes they're the unsung heroes, and they continue to serve our community regardless as to what the situation is. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief?
Buenas Nestor, buenas San Hafade people of Guam. My name is Fred Bordallo Jr. I'm from the village of Santa Rita. I'm married to Dolores and Nicholas Cruz Bordallo. They call her Liddy. She's a teacher at Dodea. And also, I'm the son of Fred Bordallo, who was an attorney, who's also the brother of Ricardo Bordallo, the governor of Guam. And my mom is Annie Underwood Bordallo, who's the sister of Robert Underwood. So our family has really been involved in a lot of political leadership in terms of trying to help the people of Guam, and that's what I want to do. The theme of my campaign is good government for all, and it starts with economic prosperity and security. Thank you.
Okay. Let me start off with the first question. Let me give it a little bit of a broad stroke to it. And let me start with you, Senator. Again, what would be your top priority, and how would you address it? And could you please be specific?
Nestor, my top priority, should I be blessed with the opportunity to serve in the 34th Guam Legislature, is to continue to focus on keeping our community safe, and also supporting our veterans in every way that we possibly can, and then also supporting initiatives that deal directly with healthcare and education. I think one of the challenges that we face today is really being able to work directly with our law enforcement community and provide them additional resources. We just acted on a conservative budget for fiscal year 17, and I recognize that there are additional needs of our law enforcement community in terms of operating into the next fiscal year. I will continue to work, should I be given that opportunity, in the 34th Guam Legislature, to make sure that we find additional resources and we provide the chiefs and the directors with that support.
Okay, let me ask you the same question.
Nestor, my top priority, again, economic prosperity and security. Starting with security, there was some news of, furloughs of school resource officers in our schools, and I think we should protect our youth, and that's one of the first major legislations I want to introduce, a Cops in Schools program, so that we can make sure that, our students in school have an adequate education, and they're safe, they feel safe. The economic portion of it is, ensuring that with the background that I have in training and education that I have, to ensure that we have opportunities for job training and education for our young adults, and that they get an opportunity for a job. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be focusing on as a senator.
Okay, and finally, Senator Atta?
Thank you, Nestor. Well, I plan to continue on working on the safety of our island and of our people. However, it's need to be flexible in what the priority will be when the time does come up. Priorities change, and we need to be flexible at that. And whatever that may be confronting us at the time when we become, should we become reelected and inaugurated, that we be able to address those issues at that time.
All right, thank you. Let's go to our Facebook questions now. We have a question from Mr. Ruben Olivas. Economic prosperity is something everyone looks forward to. How are you going to create more jobs for our island residents, and in what industries? And let me start with you, Chief.
You know what, in economic prosperity, we see that there's a lot of the problem of individuals who drop high school. There's about 250, that's what the statistics show, 250 are dropping high school. That's already a loss, and we need to reduce that number and help the education system keep people in school so at least they can have a chance. The other portion of it is how they can continue to go to school, and that's where adult education, Guam Community College has it. I'm narrowing and trying to integrate the Guam Community College and actually get DOE, the Guam education system, to start helping those individuals. And of course, the biggest problem that we have is substance abuse on our island, and I had mentioned that is a threat to it harms our families and it keeps individuals from progressing and functioning in life.
Okay, Senator Addis, same question.
Yeah, I think always education and training is very important. I think though for economic prosperity, we need to see how we can invite new investors to our island. What does it take to bring someone to come to Guam to invest millions of dollars, whether it be the hotel industry or any other industry that will be viable here on Guam? We need to work on that and ensure that that when they come to Guam, Guam is business friendly. And that's what's important. We need to cut the red tape and ensure that when people come to invest in Guam, that we be able to move forward with that.
Okay, Senator Aguon.
Thank you, Nestor, and I appreciate Captain Olivas. Thank you very much for the question. When we look at Guam's economy, we have two bread and butter, so to speak, industries. One is our tourism industry. We need to continue to preserve that and ensure that they get the resources and that we foster that as much as we possibly can, because we can see visibly that the tourism industry has provided direct employment to our people. Also, the military presence. We need to continue to foster that and make sure that we encourage the partnership between the military community and the local community, because they have always lent a helping hand. We just need to be able to work with them. In terms of local industries, we need to look at homegrown industries. Agriculture and aquaculture are two areas that I believe that we need to be able to provide additional support towards.
Okay, let me go to another question, and we've got actually several questions on this, and it's an issue that's been fairly contentious over the last few months or maybe even a year, and it has to do with the pay raises. Today, the legislature did not override the governor's veto of that bill. Let me ask you to state what your position is and defend that on the pay raise, and I'll start with you, Senator Addis.
Thank you, Nestor. Ever since the issue had came forward to the legislature, I've always voted in favor of the pay adjustment. And this goes back to the Competitive Wage Act, to where salaries were adjusted from 20 years ago to today. We need to ensure that we're paying our people the wages of today and not 20 years ago, because it would be very difficult for a governor to operate a government with salaries from 20 years ago to get the people that are capable of doing the jobs that we do. And when we look at the Competitive Wage Act, we want to ensure that we're able to go by those issues.
Okay, Senator Aguon.
I've been consistent on this particular issue, Nestor, over the course of the last year and a half. And what it is maintaining my position in regards to not supporting the pay raise or rescinding the pay raises that were given to elected officials as well as cabinet members. And the reason being is I believe that we need to lead from the front and ensure that any additional resources that can be saved as a result of reducing or returning the compensation level back to what it was prior to the passage of the Competitive Wage Act, that we're able to take those resources and put it where it really is needed.
Okay. And Chief?
I've heard a lot of the people and their concerns about how this pay raise was passed, and I've already given a position that I said that if there was a bill that was initiated to repeal the senatorial pay raise, I would support that. And then, of course, I also added on that when it comes down to the directors and mayors, the Competitive Wage Act, there was a lot of money spent on the consultants, but more teachers and nurses and other government of Guam employees are saying that it was flawed in that Hays study plan. So I'd like to start with them first to take a look at how we can adjust their pay. The teachers, the nurses, the government of Guam workers who feel that a 25-cent increase on their wage wasn't really didn't affect their ability to make ends meet, and that they don't think that the study was good enough with money thrown at it. And with the mayors and the directors, every director is different. So I think they should be separate whenever whenever the legislature is input. And I'd be happy to reduce the wages of directors, but each one is a different case. So I'd like to take them down in different components when we look at how to reduce the the pay raises that were enacted for both the executive branch and the mayors and the senators.
This is going by too fast. They're already telling me it's time to take a break, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to continue our discussion with the candidates right after this.